Hey, the Pod Posse, you're back. You're back. I am Lindsay the Stager, Lindsay Wilson, coming to you live from Raleigh, North Carolina with Design Time from the floor up. I'm so excited today. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and one of my dear friends is going to talk to us today. Her name is Dawn Drew. Hello, Dawn.
Woo! Hi, I'm Lindsay Wilson, and you're watching the Design Time from the floor up video podcast.
Ooh, so excited to be with
girl,
you.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm so excited to have you. Let me just tell
Thanks.
everybody about your awesomeness for just a sec.
Okay.
So I met Dawn obviously through staging. She and I are very good friends with who you've already met, our legend and fellow friend and stager, Bobby McGrath. Holla. And so Dawn owns a company called The Wow Factor, which is a whole staging company. And now she is content with just toning it down and still doing consultations and design jobs. But the best part that's just happened recently, a new little feather to add in her hat, she's an author. An author. She is editing a book called Joy and Ease. Oh, doesn't that sound nice? It's not like hate and killing. It's joy and ease. I love that. And speaking of books, Dawn and I were just talking before this started, and we were talking about, ebooks, Audible, okay, if you travel. But what about this bookshelfie that I've just staged for your viewing pleasure? And I want to give you an example of how Dawn and I love books, and then I'm going to stop talking and let our guest have a word. So Nora Ephron, one of my all-time faves, she is famous for movies such as Sleepless in Seattle, Heartburn, books such as I Feel Bad About My Neck. She won an Oscar for Silkwood, like way back. Great author. If you look at our books, the reason why we love books so much is because you can go to any of these pages that I've dog-eared and written notes in the side to say, go back to this if you're ever wondering about whatever. And so, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to incorporate the importance of real live books that you can see and smell and lick if you want them, if you want to.
Okay. Just
So
in
what do you
case.
have to say about it? Tell me about your book, Dawn.
I'm
Hit it.
telling you, I'm a big fan of books. And so there are ones that will just kind of blow through our life quickly. They're just candy, right? For those, I say, I'm going to the library because books can be pricey and I'm a little bit of a book addict. But those I'll go and have an ebook. I'll go and on my iPad or something, read a book or go to the library because I'm going to turn those out fast. But then there are those that I'm going to invest in. Those are the ones that oftentimes they're classics that I go back and I reread every so many years. I can tell you, like, I love like Pride and Prejudice. I'm that person.
What?
Okay. No, we are tracking.
It's like, it's at my fingertips.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That was perfect.
Talk about synchronicity. So I'm writing a book called Joy and Ease. Are you ready to change your life? And for me,
Oh my God.
you know that as women in business, anybody who's running a business, I'm a mom. I have 4 kids. We run a menagerie at our place. Yes, 4, count them 4. 3 are launched. I'm down to my last, but I'm starting to get old and tired out. And so what I realized was all the things.
By the way, I
in
don't
my life-
understand people that have more than 2 children. By the way. Okay, continue. Carry on.
Me either. So what I found was the constant rat race, trying to find create a life that I actually enjoyed living versus thinking I'm going to run, and then I'm going to get to the place where I suddenly have the life that I want.
Right.
And so
instead of the pursuit of happiness, forgetting to be happy along the way.
Exactly.
Right?
So how do we build with tools such as joy and ease versus hard work and stress? And so I had kind of that like come to Jesus moment where you realize, oh my gosh, I think the very tools that I'm using to build my life are the ones that I'm going to need to maintain the life that I've built. Right. So if I'm constantly striving, if I'm constantly hustling, if I can't take time off, because like having a birthday, doing holidays always felt like a pain. I have to have a birthday. I have to celebrate a birthday because my kids want to celebrate a birthday with me. I have to stop my life. well, that's a life that's out of balance, right? If I'm not making room for joy and ease, you know this, we
And if
never
you're
get to
stressed out
it.
about celebrating and having the fun part, something's wrong.
Exactly. And so I don't think I'm the only one out there that does this. The first section of my book is on the problem of people pleasing. Right. And so what was interesting, you've probably, like me, Lindsay, and as our listeners probably have, if they've ever struggled with people pleasing, we've all heard the just set boundaries, right? How many of us have gotten the book Boundaries? Wonderful book. We've read that. We've read the sequel.
Oh, I need to read it.
Oh, it's a great book. But
Who's it by?
Carrie
Who's it by?
Ann, oh, I'd have to go Google. It's been so many years. It's like 20 years ago I read the book.
Oh my God. I'm so 20 years behind.
Right. So now I'm going, but I'm still people pleasing. So when someone posed the question, in fact, it was the great Bobby McGrath, said, hey, what is it that you want to leave behind in 2017, 2018? What is it that you want to leave behind and not bring into the new year? And from like the gritty part of me, it's like people pleasing. I'm done with people pleasing. And then I spent an entire year going, what the heck just happened here? Like, I just felt it was like a groove that I would get knocked and go like, shoosh, there. I just people pleased. Yeah. And I thought, what is happening? I know to set boundaries. Why am I not doing this? What got bummed?
For example, give me an example. What was your people pleasing? And then I'm going to give you an example because these are really good and I bet they're going to be different.
Okay.
I want to know.
This is okay. So true confessions of someone who's been like a really diehard people pleaser. I told you this story when we met for lunch just recently to see the changes of working what I'm talking about. But I went and bought something on Facebook Marketplace. So I have these brand new kittens. They were like 4 weeks old when we got them. Their mom was killed. So we took them in. So hashtag, mother of twins. And so, we brought these kittens into our house and I thought, I need baby gates to keep them in my kitchen. Cause they're not litter box trained. They're like the mayhem. So I thought,
and they're going to destroy your house if you don't contain them.
Exactly. So I thought, I'm going to be a smart, savvy person and I'm going to go and get baby gates. Because eventually, cats, they're going to climb out. This is a short-term solution to keep them in the kitchen. So I'll buy on Facebook Marketplace. And I reached out to a woman who had 2, and I need 2 for both entrances of my kitchen. So I thought, how smart am I? I'm not going in multiple places. I'm going to make life easy for me. I'm shopping for 2 baby gates. So they're really nice baby gates, right? They're like the doors, they open, close, I don't have to hop them, and they're adjustable. Yay. So I reach out. Yes, they're available. 2 for $80. Aren't I savvy? And so when can I get them? And because they're already climbing over the obstacles, they're going to be loose in my house any moment. And so she's like, oh, I'll go leave work over my lunch break and go get these baby gates for you. And then after work, I'll meet you at the Walmart in Briar Creek. So great. So she's running home over her lunch break. I so appreciate that. And I get there, we connect. She's got the back of her SUV open. And I get there and my heart just sinks because I have these little 4-week-old kittens. They're like tiny. And the openings between the slats, the bars, right, are just too wide. And I thought, this is not. So I'm already in my mind. I feel bad because she ran home over her lunch break and she took her time to meet with me at Walmart. So you know what I'm heading to do. The old Dawn would have been like, oh, I'll just pay you the $80 and I'll try and flip it on Facebook and hope to get as much. Maybe I'll get less, but I don't want to inconvenience you. So instead, I know, because it's not that we haven't done this before. So I tell her, and I'd already handed her the money and she opened the back and I was like, these are not going to work. And she's like, no, look how these are going to work. And I'm in my mind thinking, what if I put mesh up? What if I'm finding all these ways that I'm going to try and make this work? And I thought, they're not going to work. Just tell her they're not going to work. And so I just apologized and said, I'm so sorry. These are not going to work. She handed me my money back. I had that little ping of, oh, I feel really bad. You went home over your lunch break, but they're not going to work for me.
Seriously, like at this age that we are now,
and me older than
almost in our 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
We
Don't
need
we
to
look
be,
fab?
well, I don't know about that for me, but you do.
Thanks.
No, but what I'm saying is, isn't this the age that we are allowed to not people please?
Well, sure,
For
but
instance,
go ahead. Tell me your.
no, you go.
I
No,
was going to say,
no,
but
you
it's
go.
not about being allowed to be like, who are we waiting on permission from?
I
That's
know.
one of my 7 things of one of my triggers. I was waiting on other people to give me the permission. Give
Totally.
yourself permission.
Well, you're talking about the baby gates, and how many times in one episode can we say baby gates, baby gates, baby gates? I'm talking about people pleasing oh my God, my daughter Daisy is going to be 9 on Monday. And there's another part that I want to talk about that too. But anyway, here's something about people pleasing as a mother. A mother. I'm in charge here.
Yes.
I'm the mother. So I design her whole new bedroom. There's a thin window in between these 2 upholstered single beds, right? I pick out the bedding, the wallpaper, everything. It's about to be implemented. I mean, when we move back in hopefully 2 months. All of a sudden, she says to me while we're walking through the house last week, you know what? I don't want the back bedroom. I want the front bedroom. The front bedroom has double width of the window that I designed this entire room around. And so I'm like, really? And so I start thinking about the whole thing, what if these upholstered beds just were coming over the window? Wait a second. This is my new house. I don't want the aesthetic of seeing the back of a single headboard from the street.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, blah, blah. I'm going a mile a minute trying to figure out the design. And then finally I was like, stop it, Lindsay. Be in charge. You're the mother. And so I looked at her and I said, no.
And how did that feel?
If you want your brand new, it felt good.
Okay.
I said, if you want to have your brand new bedroom with the whole cheetah hot pink theme that we're doing, that's going to be amazeballs, then you're sitting in the back fucking bedroom.
Yeah. So now we do this with our design clients, right? Our design clients, our staging clients, and they didn't read the contract, right? And so now they're calling you up and they're going like, oh, can't you make an exception? Can't you? And you're thinking, I don't want to lose the business. I don't want to be like,
I don't want to be known as a bitch.
right.
I didn't want my daughter to think I was a bitch.
Right. Because it's only,
and I am.
But here's the thing. It's only this, right? This is what goes on in our brain. It's only ... But I will guarantee you that the next time that client comes back to you, now as a stager, we have repeat clients. That'll be the same person that comes back to you on the next job and asks for the same favor. Because we showed that our boundaries were weak. Now I know that. So what is it that keeps me from setting that boundary? So you named one of them. We're afraid people will think we're a bitch or that we're not nice, right?
Right.
We're being...
Or that you know what I would hate for somebody to think that I was like a know-it-all, that I wasn't flexible, that I wasn't willing to accommodate.
So you could write some chapters because this is the sort of thing that we will all notice unless we take time to look at the messages. What is the thinking instead of what happens is we react and we have that feeling inside and then we act out of it. So I talk about the power of the pause, right?
Oh, I love this. This is so good.
The power of the pause. Because before I open my big
don't
mouth,
say anything.
Right. So before I open my big mouth, right.
Amazing.
And I have to give myself time to take a breath because I'm in emotion. I'm in that groove that's there. So if the fear is people will think I'm a know-it-all, right?
And unwilling to
or
accommodate.
Unflexible. Then I've got to be willing to give myself the space to let that go. So one of the things in my book that I talk about, that I was listening to a psychologist on YouTube, on a TED Talk, actually. And she was saying that our emotions peak at about 90 seconds, right? So if I can wait just 90 seconds, it's going to start to ebb off. And I thought, you know what? I can be uncomfortable for 90 seconds. I'm a big girl. I know that 90 seconds is in my wheelhouse. I have pushed out 4 babies. 90 seconds ain't nothing. And so
That is good information, Dawn.
Yeah.
90 seconds.
90 seconds. So
instead of us like being so what's the word? What is it when
reactive.
you like it's when you want to be taking care of everybody else, when you are not in your lane and you are micromanaging and you are what's the word?
Codependent.
Okay.
It's codependency.
Codependent. Yes. So that's what we're doing. When we don't take those 90 seconds, it's our wheels turning. Oh my God, how am I going to decorate this room in the front of the house and not in the back? And like, what are we going to do? And how can I,
And
why don't you just let them do what they're going to do?
And oftentimes we are up in their business. We're feeling their feelings. We're thinking their thoughts for them. And we don't even know if they're thinking those thoughts. We're telling their story. So those 90 seconds of letting us be uncomfortable allows us to open up space for a different choice, because we are reactively going into people pleasing.
You said there's 7 sections of your book?
There's 7 reasons that we people please. There are 3 sections of my book.
Okay. Can you tell me what the 7 ones are? And then I want to move on to the design tips, but I want to know what the 7 are.
Well, these are the ones.
Do you have to look in your book?
I do, because I don't know off the top of my head, because I wrote like whole sections on this. Now, as I said, though, these are the ones that I noticed in myself, right? So you notice your voice in your head is going to have different words. And so I'm a big proponent of journaling, taking that time and just vomiting it out on the page. No one's going to read this. No one's going to judge it. It's not an English assignment, but it kind of slows you down and you get to look at your words and go like, oh, I thought that. And sometimes what you're thinking is actually brilliant. It might become a book.
Oh my God.
Okay. So, so beliefs and behaviors that keep us in people pleasing. Number 1, I have no value except what I do for others.
Oh. Damn.
Oh, my mom tells the story of, as a little girl, her mother had on her windowsill this saying of, I lived and dreamt that life was beauty. No, I lived and dreamt that life was beauty. I woke to find that life was duty.
Oh,
and my mom has
said duty,
and that is duty. And I, even as a kid, I was just filled with horror at the thought of like, that's what my life is, duty. Whoa. But my mom has lived a life of service, and in a way that's like many of us, that becomes unbalanced, right? Because we think we always have to be giving to have value.
Giving and yeah.
So this is in our work. It'll hook us in our relationships. How many of us have friendships that we feel like we have to earn them? We have to bring value or people won't want us. So that's a big one. So
I love it.
The belief that you're being selfish. If you say no or set a boundary, you're being selfish.
Huh.
You don't think so?
Good one.
So I talk about resentment is a red flag. Resentment is wonderful. When you are in resentment, that means you're doing something that you feel someone else is capable of doing for themselves.
Ooh.
So keep that one as a mom. Oh, my kids have been my greatest teachers. And so if I'm doing it and I'm in resentment, that is not a gift to anybody. It's time to get out of whatever you're doing.
Oh. So if I'm resentful that Daisy's not wearing the brand new school clothes that I bought for her, then what should I do?
Okay, if you're resentful, well, you have to look at your expectations. When she asked you for those and you buy them and she won't wear them, that's different than if you went and did on your own. This would be more like you did something you didn't want to. Daisy just on a whim wants to be in that front bedroom, and you twist yourself up in knots, hating every last bit of it, because inside everything was in you saying no. How old is she?
I designed it for the back bedroom.
Right, and she's 8. How old is she?
She's going to be 9 on Monday.
9. You said that. So she's 9. She's 9. She's going to love the bedroom. You're a mother. So if you let her make those decisions. So for me, I was finding I was the pooper scooper. I was always picking up all the pieces that everybody left in my house, right? And I would not speak up. And I thought, I can lash them out. And then, you have more kids. And you're like, if I don't learn to speak up, I will be doing this forever. And if I do not take time for myself and set those, no one else is going to do it for me. Oh, Mom, don't worry. We'll do the dishes for you. We know you're so tired, Mom. No, we've got the trash. Put your feet up. Watch that movie. Yeah, not. right? They can do the tissues. So one of the things I talk about that's one of the measures when I'm looking at how do I make these decisions? What do I say no to? What do I say yes to? Where should I be flexible? Sometimes in hindsight, we're learning, oops, I shouldn't have said yes to that.
The Design Time from the Flora podcast is sponsored by Florally, your premier source for designer-inspired floors. Use Florally's live chat with real human beings to answer your flooring questions and even book a free in-home consultation.
I'm so intrigued with what you're saying because this is brand new information and it's so helpful for a mother to hear this.
All of us.
So what were you going to say?
Oh, what I realized, one of the questions I wish someone had given me years ago while I was raising kids, and I'm using it now, there's still time. I have one kid left at home. Is this your highest and best use? So,
is this your highest and best use?
Yes. So as a mom in my house or in our businesses, I can give you, which way do you want me to go? I can give you great examples in my business. I can give you great examples in my home life.
Give me an example of the business because we've done the mom thing.
Okay. All right. So I used to train other stagers and we'd have a team because we were doing vacant staging. So we had staging assistants and we had movers. Everybody was cross-trained. If your hands are empty, I'm not utilizing you. I'm wasting the resource as you. So you will learn how to hang art and you will learn how to put a light bulb in a lamp and check things and how we set up the beds. Everybody's equipped with this, but there's only one head stager on a job and they are in charge of the design. So you've probably never had this in your business, but in mine, you walk in and you're like, this is not coming together like I thought. How did I not notice
yes,
this?
I have.
Right. And so you're like, oh, dirty word, I've got to figure out. So that's what the head stager is there for. So you're like, this is not working. Pull this, go back to the warehouse, pull that. They are running the crew. They are carrying the integrity of the design and the implementation. And so they've got to learn how to use their resources. So my head stagers, when we're walking through it, I'm going, you're missing a light bulb. You know what? It is not, I'll go run out and get that to the truck. Is this your highest and best use?
Right, because you were just hanging a picture and now you're distracted and I have the head stager to go get the light
I've got
bulb.
an assistant that is what their job is. Please go get
Dawn,
that.
you know what's so great about what you do and why you're so successful? I have known this from day one of knowing you, which was like 5 years ago. You are so good at delegating.
I've gotten better. I have had my years.
But I am so not. I have to control all environments, all situations. I can't like train somebody to be Lindsay the Stager because they're going to screw it up. That's what the story I've told myself. They probably would be fine. I don't know. But you are so good at putting people to their use and even like inventing a head stager, an assistant, a light bulb getter, whatever it is that that's good business that you do there, sister.
Well, it's taken years of mistakes. You would laugh because in the years when I first started my business and I started bringing people on to help. So when you talk about listening to your resentment, I was wanting to make sure that they had a good time and that they enjoyed the experience of staging. And so I'm carrying the stupid bins and I'm running and getting the light bulb while they're wandering around like having the experience and I'm doing the prep work. So I had to grow into being a boss, right? Just like, whether it's at home, at work, in your marriage or your partnerships, we learn what is our highest and best use. And in everything, there's usually something we can entrust. And you don't just give trust to someone. I have a good friend who's just brilliant business owner. And she talks about bridges of trust and that you need to make sure that you've built a bridge of trust and that bridge can carry the weight of responsibility. And sometimes they break because people aren't ready for the trust that you place in them. They've got to get it, want it, and have the capacity. So what you release...
Well, that's such a good nugget right there.
Yeah, so what we do is we release a piece and see how someone does. So if they can't show up on the job on time, as a vacant stager and you've got warehouse and you're pulling, that's a big deal because it's affecting 4 other people on the job. We might be standing around waiting because you could not make it on time. And so you entrust the very little bit. And so what is it that you can release? It could be, Lindsay, carrying the clipboard and writing down what you say.
Huh.
And then you go back.
Does somebody do that? Do you have somebody that does that?
Why not? If you want to, sure. If you've got someone that you're training to do what you do and watch, you give them the lowest job first, and that's writing your notes.
And then they'll learn from that. And that's really just a brilliant thing that you're adding as part of their training.
And so then
write down everything I say.
Yeah. And then
so you can do it.
You review it. How did that go? You give them the feedback. You give them and then you give them the why behind it. So you release
I am famous for saying, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Go.
I am famous for saying, I'm sorry. If I'm coming down on you hard, it's because you're doing it wrong.
Yes. Instead of just doing it wrong, if I'm coming down on you hard, it's because I believe you have the capacity for this. Like I'm investing in you. I just don't invest in just anybody. This is and even with my sellers, I would tell them, oh, wow, you've done so much right. Now I get to be nitpicky because we get to spend my time here in the details. Very rarely do I get to this level with most of my sellers. So yes, I'm being hard on them, but it's because they're in a further position. So there's always something to learn. Doing it out of...
You're so good and you delegate so well. And it's not that... It doesn't sound like you're a pushover about it. It doesn't sound like you're people-pleasing, Dawn. You've come a long way, baby.
I've come a long way.
It sounds like you are in control and you know exactly what you're looking for, which already they are gaining respect for you as their boss.
I hope so.
And you're being nice about it. You're saying, I'm going to put you to use in a different way because I believe you can do that better.
Right.
That's almost like a compliment.
Absolutely. And
they're actually screwing up the clipboard.
Well, sometimes we've had to release them. They're not the right match. They don't get it. They don't want to, right?
But you gave them a chance.
Gave them a chance. And so you observe where people's gifts are. So if you want to delegate, start with what you can. And when they move up from there, it might be you'll let someone talk about a bathroom. How bad can that be? Right? Put the toilet seat down, put the shower curtain over, how you hang the towels. Now you've given a measure, because again, we used to do this, you've got the master bedroom. I'm going to come behind you. I'm going to watch what you pick. And if I don't agree with it, I'm just going to be saying, how about we bring this as backup? And then I let them do their vision. And if it's not coming together, I get to pull the plug and say, great, but we're out of time. We'll talk about this afterwards, but how about we switch this?
So this is a great lesson that I want to explain to our little pod posse, our listeners. So here's what Dawn is talking about. She is a vacant stager. She has a warehouse of furniture and accessories and bedding and towels and art. She goes, used to, I know. She goes into a vacant house and stages it from the floor up, pun intended. I go into a home where people are living. It's an occupied staging, and I use what they have, and maybe we'll make some additions. I just wanted to make that clear because I think that when people think of home staging, they think, a lot of realtors call me and they're like, yeah, I need this done and this done. And I'm like, is this home vacant? Yes, great. I can refer you to a vacant stager, but that's not what I do.
That's right.
So just to be clear, there are two different kinds of stagers.
And so when you're running a team in a really big job, even in the occupied side, right? If you are bringing assistants, because there's only one Lindsay, you bring the magic to be in your highest and best use as a mom, as Lindsay the Stager, as a wife. You can bet you don't have other people you're going to be offloading some things in your life. If that's hiring someone to clean your house so that you have the joy of something else, you're deciding what is your highest and best use. And then you find the things that you can delegate. And it might be going in and hanging the towels in the bathroom for your client that your assistant goes in. If they do not know how to make a bed the way that you want a bed made, right, then you've got to slow them down and train them. And it's worth your time to say, and if they don't get it, don't want it, don't have capacity for it, they're gone, right?
See, this is why you do what you do and I do what I do. With working just by myself, I am loving being in a home by myself for 4 to 5 hours, and I can do it better and faster by myself.
Yes.
You have to stage 5 houses maybe at the same time, so you've got to have your little ants working for you, and the way that you tell them what to do is just so good and so smart.
Thanks.
And for us mothers and wives and business owners, we can't work harder. We've got to work smarter.
Yeah. So it's learning it's not selfish. We're seeing this hashtag everywhere. Self-care is healthcare. Self-care isn't selfish. I am a single mom, and I'm very, very, very aware that I must take care of myself, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, because I'm it. I am all that my daughter has. So if I do not invest in myself first, the system will fall apart.
She's not going to be able to get the best of you, which is what she needs.
And I am not setting a good example for her of saying, I will serve everybody else and hope that I can live on the leftovers.
Speaking of leftovers,
Yeah.
how about that for a segue?
Yeah. Tell me, where are we going?
Or it's either the leftovers or like Lindsay and the Naked Knee. This is like a part of my podcast.
Okay.
These are my
I was
favorite
wondering if I was
teens.
going to have joinees, the little kittens, come up.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, Lindsay and the Naked Knee. Like, I don't know why this Naked Knee is in all the podcasts, but this is what I wear. Anyway. Where are you going for Thanksgiving?
Oh gosh, tonight we're heading off to a friend's house. She has opened up her home to us. She's the kind of friend. She's so amazing. She's like, bring the kittens. We'll put out a plastic tablecloth. We'll put them in bring them because they're too young to leave. So we're going to spend the night and have a movie night and then have Thanksgiving with them. And we're so excited because she always, yeah. And I actually helped her buy the house that she's in. It's this gorgeous 8,000 square foot house. And so.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, she has
plenty of room.
She has a community. She gathers people. She has a gift for gathering and raising up people. So she's pretty amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's exactly who I want you to spend Thanksgiving with.
Oh, thank you. How about you? Are you hosting? Are you off to?
So my husband, Bikes, and I, we are lucky that our parents are in a 10-minute vicinity.
Perfect.
It's not like we have to drive to Charlotte or Georgia so many so many families spend so much time in the car on Thanksgiving Day, trying to be with both families. And yes, we have a Thanksgiving lunch and a Thanksgiving dinner, which I am not complaining about.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, just making it come back to design and stuff like that is we're all going to have the most beautiful tablescape. All of us, meaning
course.
you and me, because we're going to stage the crap out of it. So I was thinking today, as I'm thinking about staging my parents' Thanksgiving dinner table, I have done the fresh rosemary from outside. I have done the piled cookbooks. I have done the open basket with the plates inside. I've done even old family pictures with
nice.
a client of mine calls that new, what do I have one on here? It's called like furniture jewelry, with the beads. I've done all of that. So I'm like, what am I going to do this year? Well, here is an idea for other Pod Posse listeners who maybe need an idea for your tablescape. So I have an almost 3-year-old, River Wilson Mears. He's the light of our lives. And he is in Mother's Morning Out at Hayes Barton. And he comes home with all of these art projects. Like adorable things, like a leaf that he's made with tissue paper. Or look at this. Oh, where is it? It's right here. Look at this. Look at his turkey hand.
Oh, I love turkey hands.
Right? And then everybody loves a pine cone turkey. He made this with his little 2.5-year-old hands. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this out of my you-know-who, is I'm going to incorporate a homemade, organic tablescape using things like this to make it really personal and all about the children. And when I mean that, I have something else to add because here's Daisy turning 9 on Monday. Last year when she turned 8, I took her to Disney World, just she and I, for 4 days. We had the best time ever. What happens with us mothers when we have little children that are having a birthday is we have to say goodbye to that 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I have to, last year I look at her and she was a little girl that I was taking to Disney. Now she is a sass Sausalito.
Yeah.
She's a big girl and she wears ponytails and running shoes and has stinky feet
Yeah.
and is, like worried about what she's going to wear and reading. She's like reading big girl books. She's reading A Dog's Purpose or A Dog's Way Home right now. It's like an adult reading book. But as mothers, every time our children have birthdays, not only is it like a celebration that we've kept them alive for another year.
Yes.
Thank you for surviving
Thank you.
the last 9 years,
Oh my
right?
gosh, yeah.
But it's about us grieving that little 8-year-old. She's not going to be 8 anymore. I said to her yesterday, oh my God, this is your last day as an 8-year-old at school because when she goes back, she's going to be 9. Anyway, I just wanted to say that if you're out of table ideas, think about bringing in things that are right in front of your face that what the hell else am I going to do with this?
Oh, yeah. And, the nice thing about this is our kids feel celebrated. They feel seen and they are part of things. And what is Thanksgiving about but family and giving thanks and remembering and the focus that we choose.
And being thankful of what we have, loving the one you're with,
Yeah.
love the one you're with, and not like you were saying about the pursuit of happiness. We have to remember to be happy.
That's right.
We can't just
This
wait
is
to
the
be getting
moment.
to this place. Like if I just had $1 million, then I would be set. If I just had a different car, I would look better. If I just had a 9-foot island, which I'm going to have, God damn it, then everything would be fine. I think we just need to, enjoy the little turkey hand. That little hand is so adorable. And I just want to remember this Thanksgiving and be grateful for what we have, not what we haven't.
Yeah, because if we don't do it, we never build the capacity to hold the bigger things.
Totally, dude.
You'll laugh, but on
What
my
else can we
on my
say?
wall, I have some of those very pieces of remembering my kids' art through the years. It's been important for me.
Oh, yeah. Seriously. Like I should do more of that. I had this up on my shelfie and I thought it was distracting. But I mean, like this is another River Wilson Mears original.
Yeah, I've got one right across the way from my oldest who did this in kindergarten. Now, she is an artist today, so even her kindergarten
amazing.
stuff was pretty
Love
amazing.
that.
I have stuff from when she, I'm very fortunate. So,
However, you can't go the other way, says Lindsay the Stager and Dawn the Stager, because when we walk into a home and we see all the kid crap,
yep. It's not time,
You
not
ca-
when you're ready
No,
to go
no,
in the
no, no.
market, because that's what makes your house personal and makes it a home. We love that. And so you and I would both say it's trying to pre-pack those mememories so they'll be ready for the new house. You will thank me later because you'll have less
Yes.
of that stuff to pack up. It's because now it's getting it ready for what it's going to look like in photos. How is it going to emotionally capture people who are looking to buy a house right now? And, neuroscience says that we make a decision in the emotional part of our brain, and then we justify it with our logic. This is why realtors say buyers are liars. No, they're not. They're just buying with their heart. And then they're finding all the reasons they can make it work. Because when love happens, we talk ourselves into it, don't we?
well, it's so funny that you say that because I always say buyers buy with their heart. Sellers sell with their brains.
Yes.
If you have a good brain, you're going to have your home staged because of the presentation, because of the way we make you feel
Absolutely.
when you walk into the house. That's when you spend more money.
Absolutely. You not just open
why
your wallet.
have-
Oh, sorry. I was
Yeah.
going to say, you don't just
No,
open your
go
wallet.
ahead.
You open your wallet wide. I'm here to help people
yeah.
open their wallets wide when they want your
Right.
house. Yeah.
It's about wanting to have sex in the bedroom when you walk into that bedroom.
Yeah.
If you walk into a disgusting bedroom that doesn't have
not
an
happening.
inch of intimacy anywhere, out.
Oh, no.
I would like to have sex in this bedroom. Show me. Not your nakedness, but a beautiful bed with neutral walls
Yeah.
and maybe a bottle of wine on a tray at the end is what I like to do.
Yeah.
Because it evokes a feeling
Absolutely.
of sexiness and relaxing with wine. Ooh, I just staged the most beautiful house last week,
Okay.
and it had one of those brand new standalone tubs right under the brightest light, the light in window with the thing across where you can, like, that's so easy to stage. Open the book, glass of wine, candles, boom.
Oh, yeah.
This is what we do here.
This is this. And then you've got people, because what happens is they begin to tell their story in your house. Like, oh,
Yes.
honey,
I love that.
I've always wanted a tub, and I'll be, oh, that's me with drinking the wine and having that. Like, you won't see me. Now they've told their story in your house. Now they've made connection.
Totally.
I always say,
And go.
I always say that not every house is for every person, right? But it's my job to make it really hard for you to walk out that door without it hurting. Like, it's my job to make that painful.
Oh,
If you're not putting an offer, I want it to hurt just a little bit.
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Like you let
then
that
I know I've done a
go.
good job, because then this house really isn't for you, but I want it to hurt when you walk back out that door. Heck, I want to feel that way when I come to my own house,
Totally.
right? That you walk in and this is the house where I want to be.
Yeah. Even in that same house, there was a lot of vacant rooms, but she actually had the master bedroom virtually staged, which
Okay.
only cost the realtor $72, and it
It's a
looked
smart
amazing.
thing. Yeah.
It's a very good tidbit to know because that's totally worth it. But there was another room that had nothing in it. Well, guess what? I can create a cozy little nook.
Absolutely.
If there is a bench and a window, bring in
Piece of
a
art.
floor lamp and an open book. Done.
Yeah.
I need to stop giving away all my secrets.
Yeah, we can create stuff. We love to shop houses, don't we? What you got? What you got? In the things that people are overlooking that are treasures in their home. And when we bring it out, it gives them joy too. When we can use what they have, right? Don't you find it gives them joy? Like,
Oh my God.
that's grandma such and such. And you've
Oh.
just affirmed, because so often in our industry, people think we come in with eyes of judgment, because we are here to tell them what they need to do to sell their house. Or as a designer, right? We're in there and they can feel self-conscious because we're coming with some expertise. And so how do we close that gap? It really is by seeing the things that they have that are good and that are show worthy, and pulling them out and helping them see it with new eyes. They had those treasures all along.
I know. I love pulling out the treasures and doing the grand reveal with the owner. And the best one I ever had was this man's wife had passed away. And I found this little nook that I put, and he was like, oh my God, how did you find that? That was hers. It's so special to her. It makes me feel so good when I see it. And I'm like, that's why you pay me the big bucks.
Well, this is why your clients love you so much and you have such a loyal following. It's for that reason, because you're able to evoke those feelings and people feel seen and heard and valued, and they're having fun. Because one thing I know about you, Lindsay, is you bring the fun along the way.
Ah, damn it, Drew.
You do.
Thank
okay.
you. Well, you're my little treasure, and you're
Oh,
a lot
thanks.
of joy and ease in my life.
Thank
And,
you.
I love having my friends as my guests that I get to talk to. I wish I could talk to you like nonstop and eat and drink like we got to do last week, but I gotta go. And you do too, because it's
totally get
Thanksgiving,
it.
man. We
got
gotta,
places to go, people to see, people to feed.
I got like turkeys to dress.
I know. Tables that need your help.
Well, listen, let's not let too much time go by. I think that you are doing such an amazing job as a mother, as a single mother, as a business owner. The decisions that you have made into taking the next step on your path is going to get you exactly where you are meant to be, but where you want to go.
Thanks.
You're so welcome. I love you so much.
Mwah.
I'm so thankful that you came into my life. And I've really I think that everybody is going to get such great tidbit educational nuggets out of what you told us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This has been a
You
pleasure.
are so welcome. When will your book be available for all of us to read and take notes in
I
and
am
fold the pages down?
trusting after the new year. So my goal is to finish editing and finding the way that I'm going to publish. So again, it might be an ebook first and then seeing how I do the written one. So,
Awesome.
And then they can find me on Facebook right now and join Ease. So this week we're talking about healing fear. Doesn't that sound like such a fun topic? But it's one that's rising up that people are going, what do I do with it? Stuff it back down, back and bowl, if you know that old movie.
I know, yeah.
And it's, I didn't know if you would know that right. Back and bowl. It's like, no, it rises up because this is a time it's ready to be healed. So,
so everybody check out Dawn Drew. Like she's going to like educate you on a weekly basis.
A variety of topics. So joy
even before the
and
book
ease.
comes out.
Yeah.
Perfect. So the thing on Facebook is called Joy and Ease too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
And now we're clear.
Come check me out.
Crystal.
Yeah.
I love it.
Come find me.
All right. Well, I will see you later, Dawn, and I will talk to you later, my pod posse. Thanks for coming out. Everybody have the most wonderful Thanksgiving. Ciao.
Ciao.
Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying this episode, please like, comment, or subscribe. If you don't like it, then